This week, Learning Saturday, we have 3 exciting webinars lined up for you. At 10 a.m., we have the new fixed income playbook, strategies for a falling interest rate cycle. At 11 a.m., we have Zero to Investor, how to start investing from our very first salary. And finally, we have Anchor Awaits, India's sport and logistics sector. To join this webinar, kindly click the registration link in the description.
In mutual fund investing, it's extremely important to buy right. You cannot buy the wrong funds. In choices, you can never make a mistake. But most often, that is exactly what the majority of investors do. They buy the product which has the highest recent returns. That's the first mistake. The second mistake, they subscribe to NFOs. That's the second mistake. You are buying a product without even evaluating a portfolio. Now, that's surely not the right thing to do. If you really like a theme in an NFO, you still must see the first portfolio, make an evaluation, and then consider if you should invest. More often than not, once you see the portfolio, you may not be as interested in investing as you are when you just saw the theme. These two mistakes happen all the time in every investor's investing. When I set foot into mutual funds in 2008, the first thing I decided was I would never buy on the basis of past performance. I would always look at the merits in the portfolio. Can an individual portfolio perform better than what other competing portfolios in that category are capable of? So, if I want to buy a flexi cap fund, I would study all the flexi cap funds and then decide which fund I like. This approach is something that gives me a complete visibility of all the products in a category, at least all the important products in a category. It gives me insight into how managers are trying to create returns. It tells me what kind of risks a manager is taking in his portfolio. And then, based on the portfolio, I come to an assessment on which portfolio has the right risk taking inside it and which portfolio will give disproportionate rewards compared to its peers. This is not as simple as I've just said it, but when done in a disciplined way, it becomes a habit, it becomes a part of our process, and we regularly are able to spot the winners of tomorrow, and this essentially keeps us away on blindly relying on the winners of yesterday. If you manage to put yesterday behind in your mutual fund investing and think ahead into tomorrow's winners, you are likely to win. Another very critical point is whether it is an NFO or a fund on which you have just received a tip from somebody. Never invest in a mutual fund without analyzing the portfolio. I do an analysis of not just the current portfolio. I go in and see what has happened in the portfolio over a period of a year or two. History and looking closer at history tell you much more than even what a current portfolio can tell you. It tells you about the behavior of the fund manager, what kind of choices he makes, how he has developed his portfolio, maintained it, and transformed it. All this has a story, and that story is going to tell you what ending you will get tomorrow. Essentially, when you look into the past behavior of the fund manager, when you look at the past behavior of the fund manager, you can tell what the future outcome will be. And that's why I don't buy in any NFO, because it has no past on that portfolio. And when you don't have any past, you are going to blindly bet on the future, and that is something that is not worth doing at any point in time. These two things, when done correctly, can make a far more significant difference to the outcome than we imagine. If only we respect these two things, mutual fund investing can be far better than any other form of investing. It's important to respect these two things in our investing, and if we respect them enough, we will definitely be able to beat benchmarks, beat expectations, and meet our goals. That's what we are investing for, and that's where we need to get.